Hi, this is Kendra Hinkle, and I'll be talking to you about the Evernote program to use for an e-portfolio. So what's an e-portfolio? Basically a collection of work or evidence in an electronic format that showcases learning over time. There are several different types of e-portfolios, and I think for me, the one that I would benefit from the most in my classroom would be the developmental type of e-portfolio, because it would provide my students a way to collect artifacts or work over a period of time and keep them all in one spot. I also think that the reflective portion is important because it allows them to kind of see everything together in one spot and allows them to reflect on what they've created. Several advantages of e-portfolios. I think that for me, the means of communicating student development and status and progress is probably the most meaningful, because e-portfolios allow me to provide immediate feedback. And I also think that motivating students and promoting self-assessment and self-understanding is key. I think that sometimes our students don't connect all the pieces and some of their lessons seem kind of disconnected, but when they can put everything all in one place and look at it as one big picture through an e-portfolio, it might make their lessons a little bit more meaningful. So Evernote is the program that I looked at, and I really think that probably any type of e-portfolio, but specifically Evernote, is really encouraging for student autonomy, because they are completely responsible and they can easily see what they have and have not completed, and it kind of puts the responsibility on them. I think that Evernote is great for helping students develop organizational skills. I find that specifically with my students, and they're in 6th grade, they don't know how to sit down and take notes. Having guided notes or a template or something is helpful for them. So this template, there's a variety in Evernote, and I think that would be really beneficial for them. Evernote, I think, is good at encouraging creativity, especially since there's this option to add things like pictures and links and videos. And it's nice that Evernote is easily shared with other people, other students, or with me. As long as you have an email address, you can collaborate with others. And the fact that there's a free version is pretty key in education these days. Some of the disadvantages of Evernote, for me specifically, would be we just have a lack of technology. My district is not one-to-one, so it's difficult for me to require students to complete things online. We share laptops in my building, so it's almost impossible to have laptops available every day or even every other day for students. Our Wi-Fi connection is not great either, so when our internet is out, it would kind of, sometimes pencil and paper is the most reliable, I guess I should say. And I also think that sometimes I'm noticing the more I incorporate technology into my lessons in my classroom, students just kind of get a little bit overwhelmed and they kind of feel over-challenged. And we have so much confidence in kids these days that they just know how to use computers because they've always been around or they're always on their cell phone. But really, when it comes to opening up a program and sitting down and figuring out all the details of how to take these notes or how to upload a picture, it's not as cut and dry. So I think that if students aren't, really trained in how to use an e-portfolio, they might just feel a little bit over-challenged. So a variety of uses for both students and teachers. Obviously, note-taking, using it for a lab notebook in my classroom since I teach science, using it to create and plan and reflect on projects, collaborate with other students. And I also like the tags feature. They can create a lot of different things and put tags in. So, if they search for something like the periodic table, everything that they've tagged with that would come up. Good for teachers because we can distribute and collect work easily. We can make documents editable or permanent for note-taking. It's nice to provide feedback, and we also have the option to make student work public for other students to see. So I just included some examples here for the note-taking, which I think is probably one of the most obvious uses for an e-portfolio. And then here is writing, so maybe creating a writing sample. Here are some of those tags that I mentioned. Anytime you want to see the word design, you could tag that and it would come up. So I spoke to Jake Evans, a teacher at my school. He was the person that I interviewed. They gave me some of the uses that he uses Evernote for in our building. And then here's my other citations. Thanks.